What if I told you the house you just saw costs more per square foot than a mansion? Not because it's fancy for the sake of being fancy. Because in 2026, small houses have quietly become the most expensive real estate on the planet. Dollar for dollar, foot for foot. A tiny home today can run you $300 to $400 a square foot. A traditional house? Maybe $150 to $200. Same money, half the space. And somehow, it looks like $1 million. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why that is, and the 5 design secrets that make a 400 square foot space feel like a penthouse. One of them is something 90% of small house owners get completely backwards. Before we get into it, if you're into smart living, minimalist design, or just dream about someday owning something that's actually yours, hit subscribe now. I break down real numbers and real design trends every week. No fluff. Okay, let's get into it. Here's the part that surprises everyone. You'd think smaller means cheaper. It doesn't. Not per square foot, anyway. A tiny home still needs a full kitchen, a full bathroom, electrical, plumbing, HVAC. All the same systems a 2,500 square foot house needs, just crammed into a fraction of the space. Those fixed costs don't shrink. They just get squeezed, which means every single foot of a small house is doing more financial work than a foot in a big house. That's why prefab tiny homes with premium finishes can run past $180,000. That's why a fully custom, professionally built tiny house can push past $150,000 for something you could technically fit inside a 2-car garage. And here's the twist that makes this whole trend explode. People don't care. In fact, they're choosing it on purpose. More than half of Gen Z and millennials say they'd rather have a smaller, better-built home than a bigger one with fewer amenities. For Gen X, that number jumps to 61%. For boomers, 70%. The average new house in America just shrank to its smallest size in 15 years. Builders aren't fighting this. They're leaning into it. A huge chunk of them said they deliberately built smaller homes just to keep sales moving, and even more are planning to go smaller still. So the question isn't, why are small houses suddenly expensive? The real question is, how do you make 400 square feet feel like it's worth every one of those dollars? That's design, and that's where it gets fun. 1. Vertical space is the new square footage. In 2026, designers stopped thinking about small homes as floor plans and started thinking about them as volumes. Ceiling height, wall space, lofted zones. Every vertical inch is now real estate. Floor-to-ceiling cabinetry, lofted beds with a walk-in closet, or a reading nook tucked underneath. Even lighting gets used to pull your eye upward, tricking your brain into feeling like the room is bigger than it is. You're not just building a house anymore. You're designing a cube and using all 6 sides of it. 2. Blur the line between inside and outside. This one's sneaky effective. Big sliding doors, covered patios, outdoor kitchens, wrap-around porches that basically function as an extra room you didn't have to pay to heat or cool. When your living room visually spills into your porch, your brain doesn't register for 100 square feet. It registers this place doesn't end. That illusion alone can make a small house feel like it doubled in size without adding a single stud. 3. Smart tech that disappears. Luxury in 2026 isn't a home stuffed with visible gadgets. It's the opposite. Technology so seamlessly built in, you forget it's there. Lighting that shifts with your body clock. Speakers hidden inside the walls. Climate control that just learns what you like. In a small space, every visible cord or panel reads as clutter. So the trend now is hiding intelligence and keeping the surfaces clean. For multifunctional, not multipurpose looking. The old small space trick was folding furniture that screamed, "I live in a shoebox." That's dead. The 2026 version is furniture and layouts that don't announce themselves. A bench that's secretly storage. A kitchen island that's also a desk. A stair that's also a bookshelf. The function is invisible until you need it. 5. Color. Don't just minimize. Here's the twist almost nobody expects. Minimalism, the all-white sterile look that dominated small spaces for a decade, is fading. Designers are now color-drenching small rooms, walls, trim, and ceiling all in one saturated tone. because it actually makes a small room feel more intentional and immersive, not smaller. A tiny home office in a deep, moody color reads as a design space. The same room in flat white reads as an afterthought. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because everything I just told you explains feel. It doesn't explain the number on the price tag. Coming up, I'm going to show you where the actual $1 million money goes inside a small house. The 2 rooms that eat almost a quarter of the entire budget by themselves. And the one mistake that makes a beautifully designed small home feel cheap the second you walk in, even with all 5 of those tricks done right. So don't leave yet. This next part is the one people message me about the most. If you build a small home today, here's roughly how your budget breaks down. Materials, lumber, siding, roofing, eat up close to half your total cost. Labor, if you're hiring pros, takes another chunk. And skilled trades are charging a premium right now because there's a real shortage of people who can do this work well. But the 2 rooms that quietly dominate everything, kitchen and bathroom. In a small home, these 2 rooms alone can swallow close to a quarter of your entire budget. Why? Because compact appliances, custom cabinetry, and code-compliant plumbing in a tight footprint cost just as much, sometimes more, as their full-size counterparts. You're not paying for size, you're paying for precision. And here's the mistake that undoes all 5 design tricks I mentioned earlier. Cutting corners in exactly those 2 rooms to save money everywhere else. A gorgeous vertical loft, perfect color-drenched walls, seamless smart tech throughout the house, and then a bargain laminate counter and a build-a-grade faucet in the kitchen. That's the one thing your eye catches immediately. In a small space, there's nowhere for a cheap finish to hide. Every flaw is at arm's length. That's the real secret behind a $1 million small house. It's not that every inch is expensive. It's that the few inches that matter most, kitchen, bath, and the vertical volume of the main room, get the lion's share of the budget and the design attention, while everything else stays simple. You don't need a 6-figure build to use any of this. If you're renting a small apartment, go vertical first. Floor-to-ceiling shelving, a lofted sleep area if your ceilings allow it, and one bold, saturated wall color in your main room. That's a weekend project, not a construction project. If you're building or buying, spend disproportionately on the kitchen and bathroom, and keep the rest of the finishes clean and simple. That imbalance is intentional, not a compromise. And regardless of your budget, find one place to blur indoors and outdoors, even if it's just a single glass door and a small deck. That illusion of endlessness is doing more work for the expensive feeling than almost anything else on this list. Small houses aren't shrinking because people are settling for less. They're shrinking because people finally figured out that square footage was never the thing that made a home feel valuable. Intention was, if this saved you from making an expensive mistake, or just change how you look at your own space. Drop a comment telling me which of these 5 tricks you're stealing first. And subscribe if you want the next one of these breakdowns the second it drops. I've got a video coming up on the actual floor plans behind some of the most talked about small homes of the year, and you will not want to miss that one. I'll see you in the next video.